Hey everyone, it's Jeff Risson from the Detroit Lions podcast and Lions Wire, and it's time to talk a little NFL draft. I know, it's November. We're not even to Thanksgiving yet. Lions have been in the playoffs for a long time. I think they're still getting in this year. If you want to get more thoughts on that, you can watch the last video that I did earlier this week. But it's always draft season in my house. As the managing editor of DraftWire, I wear that hat also, although this one's more Michigan related. But I wanted to talk a little bit about four offensive tackle prospects, not necessarily first rounders. And there are three that I like for Detroit and one that I really don't. So let's talk about them. All right. Got to start positive. So we'll lead with one of the guys that I really like, and I think the Lions like him too. That's Caleb Tiernan from Northwestern. Left tackle, experienced guy. He is from Detroit Country Day High School. Big dude, listed at 6'7", 329. It looks valid. I have seen him play in person, not this year, but I did last year. Love what I see from his tape in terms of how it would fit in the role that Taylor Decker currently plays as the Lions left tackle. He is not the smoothest mover, but he's coordinated and he's functional athletic, and he can get out in space and engage people and push people down. And that's something that I think Decker does really well. He uses his length pretty well. He's got pretty long arms. They're not relative to his body, they're not super long. But like Decker, he can fire them out and does a pretty good job of that. I've seen improvement in his hand placement this year. Like what I see from him as a pass protector. If he loses initially, he understands how to recover. That's important. That's not something that everybody can do. And it's something that I think Decker, quite frankly, has gotten a lot better with over time. And I see those things with Tiernan. So right now, on the mock draft database, big board, which is like a conglomeration of all the different mock drafts and big boards that are out there, and mine's included in it, by the way. He is currently listed at number 62 overall. My personal big board as of now, and it is, November 21st, he is currently number 39 on my board. So second round is where I have him pegged right at the moment. It's probably earlier than the Lions will be picking in the second round. Is it too early to take him in the first round? Maybe. I don't know. It's too early to get into that, like where they would have to draft him and move and all that. But I do think that they will find the player appealing. He's a leader. He's got some snarl to him. He's got some grit to him. So he's one to definitely watch. Maybe not for day one, but for early day two, very early day two. If Brad Holmes is going to do his maneuvering like he likes to do when he locks in on a particular player, it could be very early in day two for Caleb Tiernan. We'll see, though. Again, there's a lot of time before it. We have to get all the athletic testing, the measurements. Those are important. The Lions do pay attention. It's not a be-all, end-all, but there are requisites that have to be hit, especially with the athleticism and relative to the position. So I think Tiernan will be fine there. Again, he's not this. In fact, of the four guys that I've got listed here, he is the least athletic of the group. But again, it's not that he's a bad athlete; he's just not in a standout one. And I do like his experience at left tackle. Let's go to the second one that I like, probably more than most people do, and that is Blake Miller from Clemson, 4-year starter at right tackle. He has played a little bit of left tackle a couple seasons ago. But he's a right tackle, and he is ridiculously athletic. He is different than Penei Sewell's level of athleticism, though, in that he is much more of a speed and space guy. I know that harkens to Michigan football. But I like what I've seen from Blake Miller, specifically in his game film this year. He is one of the most improved prospects in the country. Because coming into the season, I wasn't super high on him. Had him pegged as a, fifth, sixth round prospect who could move up in the summer scouting evaluations, and he's done just that. Really like his footwork, his coordination of his hips and his shoulders. He keeps his feet moving very nicely. Insanely athletic out in space. Love what I see from that. He's able to seal a corner, and he's also able to get out and engage in space. He can down block very nicely. I really have been impressed with what I've seen from Blake Miller. So he is on the mock draft big board overall. He is number 65. He's my number 16 player. So I'm clearly very bullish on him. And would I have a problem with the Lions taking him in the first round? Absolutely not. I'd be happy with that. Now, the biggest issue that comes with him is that he's 6'6" and he's listed at 295 pounds. And back when that listing came, which was in Clemson's spring ball, that seemed a little optimistic. Been reliably told by people who have been at Clemson, NFL employed scouts who have been at Clemson, that he's pushing 300 right now. If he can get to 305, maybe even 310 by the combine at the end of February, early March, he's going first round, y'all. He's got the athletic upside. He's got the experience. He's a player who's an ascending talent. Very, very impressive game film. Again, one of those guys. I didn't think a whole lot of him coming into the season, but he's really outplayed my expectations for him on a Clemson team that isn't. And don't think the Lions don't pay attention to that. They love guys who can thrive even when the team around them isn't, because it shows that they have mental toughness, fortitude, and character to persevere. That's something that's very big for this team. And I think they'll like that in Blake Miller. I have not heard anything from the Lions pro or con on Blake Miller, but that's just, I think they're going to like him. I know I do. We'll see how the athletic testing turns out. But he is someone to potentially watch as a round one pick. Now let's get to the guy that I don't want the Lions to take. And this is going to be one where a lot of people who only casually watch college football and don't really watch it with a scouting eye are going to be like, what are you talking about? It's Kaden Proctor from Alabama. Yeah, he's a lot of fun to watch when he lines up as a running back and a fullback at 6'7" and 300 and we'll call it 40 pounds. Probably more than that. I don't have his official listing in front of me. I forgot to look that one up. Sorry. But he is the current number 15 overall player on the mock draft big board. He's my number 49, and he is not moving up in my rankings at all based on what I've seen from him as a blocker. And there are a couple of things about him as a left tackle that some of it is an Alabama issue. They love to teach their tackles to catch block. What I mean by that is they will allow defenders to get into their chest and sort of catch them and put their hands on them, maybe make the defender make the contact first. It goes back to a whole host of dudes who have done it from, there's a lot of them in the NFL, and most of them wind up being, I don't want to say disappointing or bad, but underwhelming relative to the expectations for them. Cyrus Kwanjo is a good example. There's a few, the catch blocking thing. It's something that Alabama does. It's not unique to them, but they are the most known for it. And that is not something that the Lions do. They want aggressiveness. They want your tackles. Look at how often Penei Sewell and Taylor Decker fire out with their hands, even in pass protection as they're, setting back, controlling with the outside hand, being able to use their hands independently. When you catch block, you can't do that. You're much more at the mercy of a pass rusher, and a good pass rusher will take you to school. So I'm concerned about that with Proctor. I'm also concerned about his ability to recovery block if he misses at first. I don't like the way that his balance goes. He is not someone who can recenter his weight quickly. Whether it's his feet, he's a very big dude. And when you just get that much, motion going one way or the other, it's tough for him to reset, and he doesn't do that super well. So I am not super fond of Kaden Proctor as a Lions prospect. And I'm not sure that the NFL sees him as a top 15 player. I don't know that they don't. Again, it's early in the process, but I kind of see him as a day 2 guy, maybe even early day 3. Probably he's going to test really well though, so that's probably going to keep him in day 2 as a floor. I don't see this guy as a top 25. Again, he's my number 48 player. I'm looking at moving him down some. So, I'm hopeful that he is a player that fits a Lions profile, but they're not as into him as we think they are. And a good example of that is Landon Jackson from the last draft, the defensive end from Arkansas, who they had a couple of chances to take, and he certainly fits the profile of a crush the can length. He's basically a Marcus Davenport physical clone. Unfortunately for Jackson, he has zero twitch to his body, and that's one of the reasons why he's been a healthy scratch as a day 2 pick this year as a rookie. I'm glad that the Lions dodged that one, and I hope that they dodge Proctor as well. Of course, having said that now, we do know that Brad Holmes loves his Alabama guys. Ray Agnew does too. So you can't rule it out, but I'm hopeful that that's one that we don't have to worry about as the draft comes around. Last one, and this is a day 3 guy. And I know, developmental tackle. I get it. We're scarred. I get it. Trust me. I get it. Giovanni Manu is entering year 3 as a player that they used a 3rd round pick in 2025 to draft in 2024. We still don't know if he can be OT3 next year. And a lot of that is because he's been injured, and he won't be back this season, by all accounts that I've seen and heard. Which means that you've got to get somebody in there who can be your next developmental tackle prospect. Like you can find Dan Skipper, you can find Jamarco Jones, a veteran number 3. But you want to have Justin Herron was well on his way to earning that job before he blew out his elbow in pregame warmups in Atlanta. I don't know how these injuries happen sometimes, but I digress. Anyways, Nicky Prongus, Stanford. He is their left tackle. Now, he is a developmental prospect with ridiculous athleticism in a different manner than what Manu is, but it's the same sort of thing. He didn't play football until he was a senior in high school. Was a baseball and basketball player, and just from looking at him at 6'7" and what is he listed at? 6'7", 315. It seems legit. Again, I haven't seen Stanford this year. I did see them in person last year. Of course, he wasn't on the team last year. He was at UCLA. He was UCLA's right tackle and looked the part of an athletically developmental tackle. He's picked it up quite a bit. This guy has bend. He's got footwork. He's got coordination. One of the things that I like about him, you never see him cross his feet. You never see him get out quick to the outside. He knows how to set on the outside, keep his fan outside, but also use his inside arm just enough where you can't cross his face. He can get into that. He's still learning it. The technique, specifically with his hands more than his feet. But my God, the athleticism. This guy's going to test ridiculously well. He's going to test like a tight end, is the expectation for him. So he is number 271 right now on the consensus big board. I can tell you I think that's pretty low. He is my number 173 player, so I'm almost 100 points higher on him than the rest of the people, the rest of the consensus. I don't know if he's going to go any lower than what I have him. But if you're looking for, look, he's probably not going to be ready to play, even though he does have experience. But man, the tools are there. And the football background, while it's new to him, he's a much more advanced and developed football player than Manu was at the same point when the Lions got him. So he's one to look at. Where's he going to go in the draft? I don't know, man. It's because he is going to be one of those guys that, as more people start to watch him, because he's very under the radar, especially coming into the season. Like, oh, he transferred from UCLA. He wasn't super good there. Wasn't all that talented. Was basically like athletic promise. And what's going to happen with that athletic promise? Well, he's delivered on it. Stanford, not a very good football team, but he is really showing what he can do in the ACC. Yes, it's still weird to me that Stanford in California is in the Atlantic Coast Conference, but that's football these days. Oregon and Washington are in the Big Ten. Times they are changing, folks. So that's my look at three offensive tackle prospects that I like. Again, it's mid-November. A lot of things subject to change with testing, with injuries, with as we learn more about the character, as we learn more about what the Lions are looking at. That's still kind of a gray area for all of us that are out there. By the way, check out the gray area here on the Detroit Lions podcast. It's great. Love gray. Make sure you've liked and subscribed to the channel. Hit that like button. I appreciate it. Chris, my normal co-host, who is not able to do a show this week with me, enjoys it as well. We appreciate it. Check it out in the Slack if you want to talk about these prospects specifically. We do have a mock draft channel in the Slack. Please check that out. It's only $5 a month for the Patreon to get in. It does keep out the riffraff. That's a nice way to say it. With that, look, we got 2 days to go until we play the Giants here. You probably won't be watching this until Saturday morning, but still feel very good about the Lions beating the Giants this weekend. And I hope that we see Penei Sewell and Taylor Decker back as close to full speed as we get, because we're going to need them. But yeah, we're going to do a lot more of these draft sort of things, especially as the draft gets closer. But leading into December and then into the Senior Bowl and Combine and Pro Days, I have tentatively slated out my Pro Day map of where I'm going to get to this year, and I have 19 of them that I am going to apply for credentials for. And other than Michigan, which doesn't like to give them to anybody, I feel pretty confident that I'll get into all the other ones, and that we'll see a lot of prospects. So from now until then, keep checking on the draft stuff. I will post it periodically at Lions Wire. I have much more of it at Draft Wire. But until then, thanks. Enjoy it.